in here. We could make this look a little better if we wanted to, but it doesn't really matter. So change this thing. And there we go. Right. So let's just stick a button on here. Why not? Let's just put in a button. Since I'm using foundation, I can't just write class, right? I have to write class name, camel case like that. This is not HTML. This is still JavaScript, really, under the hood. So class name equals, and props can totally have strings as values, in which case you don't need to put curly brace and then quotes. You can just put quotes. Class name, expanded success button. I'll make it a nice big button. Add another. Here's our button at the end. So I think you may have seen in my slides, if you want to do something, you can just give it a prop of on submit, or on click in this case, right? And you camel case those now. These are JavaScript properties, essentially. They're actually props. And then you put the name of the function here. So let's make one. Let's make another method called handle click. So on click equals this dot handle click. What do we want to do? We want to stick another acrobat on there. So we have this.state.acrobats. We cannot just say this.state.acrobats.push. It will not re-render the page with what you've changed because it doesn't know you changed it. You have to use setState to do that. So what you can do is say this.setState. Pass it an object with what you want acrobats to be now. So we want it to be what it was before, but with a new one, right? So how can we do that? Let's make a new local variable inside handle click for our updated array. So what if I set that to this.state.acrobats? What did we just learn right before the break? This isn't going to make a copy, is it? It's going to be the exact same object. So if we want to make another copy of it, we have to go to some trouble. Now, thankfully, ES6 makes this really easy with something called the spread operator. Spread operator is just an ellipsis, 3 dots. And here's what it does. Spread operator, this.state.acrobats. That breaks up the array, works on an object too, into its different pieces. So suppose we break it up into its different pieces and surround it with an array literal. So with our curly braces here, we're creating a brand new array. What's inside the array? Well, the spread operator means inside that array is all the items that were in this other array. So effectively, what we're doing here is copying the array. So this is a super convenient, relatively short syntax for copying an array. Just use the spread operator on an array. Make sure you surround it with an array literal. And now our acrobats local variable inside handle click is a copy of what was in state. So then we could push our new one onto that. Who else we got? Who's feeling acrobatic today? Kunal is feeling acrobatic. Ain't that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. So then we set state, and we just set acrobats to acrobats. Let's watch. Click. Uh-oh. What happened? Why isn't it doing what I wanted? What gives? Handle click. There's handle click. What did I do? What stupid thing did I do? On click, this dot handle click. Here's this dot handle click. Comment all that out for a moment. Just do an alert. Click. Did I even do that much right? Yep. Click. There it is. Const acrobats equals a copy of this.state.acrobats. Acrobats.push, Kunal. This.setState, acrobats, acrobats. Looks pretty good to me. What are you doing? React, you jerk. This totally works. Oh. No, it doesn't. Why not? What can you tell me about handle click? How are we invoking handle click? It's an event handler. So when I say this.state, it doesn't know what the heck I'm talking about because this isn't what we expect it to be. What do you think it is? What is this? Trick question. Let's find out. Alert this. Let's click. Object window. Not the event target. It's window. What the crap kind of sense does that make? Well, we're in React now. We're playing by React's rules. So this inside an event handler, it's going to be the global object. In other words, it's going to be completely useless. Don't bother. So what do we need to do? We've learned a couple different tricks for this. We could just say bind this here. That ought to work. Save. Try our button again. Totally works. Add all the kunals we want. Or, what's another way we could do it? How did we do it last time? We could set onClick to an arrow function and have the arrow function called this.handleClick. So now handleClick isn't actually an event handler. Still works. Yeah. Good stuff. So now this is the right thing, and our button totally works. So as you might expect, if we were making that an actual event handler, there will be an event object passed in. Strictly speaking, remember React's doing a bunch of stuff under the hood. It's not actually a real DOM event handler, which is why this isn't the right thing. And the event we're being passed isn't the actual raw DOM event object. It's got a little bit of a React wrapper around it. But the good news is it still has things like target and prevent default, should we need them. No, we don't need them here, but there is that. What if you wanted to change the text content of something? We don't do that kind of thing anymore. We don't mess with any DOM properties or DOM methods or any of that. We're living in React's world now. If we wanted to change, say, who we were greeting up here at the top, hello Emma. If we wanted to change Emma to something else, what would we do? We wouldn't change the text content of the H1. We would change state, right? So if you had some text that you wanted to be dynamic, you can't just make it static and then grab it off the DOM and do something to it. It needs to be getting its value from state. Then you can change that. So we can make another button. Yeah. update heading. On click. We could call an arrow function again to get around the this issues. Say this dot update heading. So let's add update heading. What's it going to do? Actually, what it's doing is updating name. Never mind what it's doing on the page. We're just updating the name. Update name. This dot set state. This time we're just changing name, not acrobats. And we just set it to something else. Something like Matt. See what happens? Now, let's give our button a class of button. That's the kind of thing that Foundation likes. Class name equals expanded warning button. There we go. Totally works. We didn't have to worry about the fact that we were making a change to the heading, right? We just needed to change the thing in state. It's our data that changed. Updating the view to reflect that change is React's job. All we have to do is manage our data. We tell it once our rules, and then we just mess around with our data, and the UI just refreshes automatically. Just like magic. Any questions? Let's see, did Slack ever start working? My gosh, it did not. Is it working for anybody else? Is Slack just broken right now? Okay. Well, that's kind of a bummer. Dana, I'll at least send this to you in FlowDoc. It's better than the one from the morning.